Hello Taurus, welcome to your July 2025 reading. I'm using one deck to look back at June. When we connected, we saw that you were dealing with some stress or migraines, or stress displaying as sort of headaches, migraines. So let's see if you're feeling any better. And also an unplanned visit potentially, or visitor, or incoming news that you weren't expecting. So let's see if that happened. And then we'll use charms and a couple deck of cards here to look at July ahead. So if you don't like to watch the process, timestamped below in the video description so you can jump ahead. So let's look back at June for Taurus, looking with stress on the body and kind of headaches, migraines. I'm not sure why the cards are shuffling this way. Maybe it's giving me a sensation here of what June was like. You know, maybe you felt a bit stuck in place, kind of how the cards weren't really going anywhere. Or maybe you didn't go anywhere because you were dealing with the stress and the pain. If you have headaches and migraines, you're definitely not feeling like going anywhere and doing anything. That's understandable. All right, so let's look at July. What's up ahead for Taurus? Wow, even these are. I don't know. It's because this month Taurus ends up being the last of the signs that I sat down to read, just from the grouping that I felt. Capricorn, Aquarius, Taurus. You guys were all grouped together under sort of this stressful period. All of you in June had some kind of stress that you were working through. So if you have any Capricorns or Aquarians in your life, know that they also went through a stressful period in June. I mean, the whole world did. So, okay. The next set of cards. These ones are doing the same thing. I don't know, after maybe 12 readings, the angels are just... no, the angels are never tired. They just corrected me there. I wasn't even allowed to say it. Angels are so truthful. Can't even pretend to say it on their behalf. All right. And now we'll get some charms. So I'm going to discard what they don't need, so we don't have a big drop like I did in a previous reading. Just kind of had all the charms fall out of my hand. Okay. So now we'll see what charms they want to add, just for additional clarity on your messages. Further elaborate the situation. Explain the story. I just came from Aquarius reading and my hands were shaking. They had nervous energy about a relationship. Look, my baby finger just went crazy. So I don't know if you two all of a sudden got quite nervous, or my finger's going nervous because they're trying to get a charm here. I don't know why it's... That was a pretty bad shake there. Okay. So I'm just cleaning up the ones that they clearly discarded. They made a point of making sure it kind of pushed off the card. Let me just kind of tune in here, figure out why I'm shaking so much. All of a sudden, getting nervous. Okay. Well, we still have some health recovery comfort here. Transformation in health, so that's good. So if you were someone affected by headaches, migraines, it looks like there's some relief in sight here with the transformation and the comforting teddy bear. All month I've had this interesting pairing of the dove and the bat with the arms wide open here. And then we have that relationship, a connection here. Okay. Get the bowl out of the way. So Taurus, we're going to start by looking back at June. So So let's see, sort of check in on the health here with stress and migraines, and an unplanned visitor, gift, message. Did anything show up that you weren't expecting? Well, if you were someone that got that unplanned, unexpected visitor or news, this is like someone who like came out of the woodwork kind of thing. Like this was a deep reach into your closet of connections, into your past. You know, someone kind of crawled out of the hole here, so to speak, or the person who visited you, your conversations went really deep here into the past. Things were brought up. Things were kind of brought to light here for you in June. There's something here about bringing forward from the past. Why does it have to be the deep past? I mean, the card is called transformation. We have transformation here. So I don't know if this was the start of your transformation journey, Taurus. There's a lot of signs that went through significant transformation in June, and now July they're kind of starting out in the new. So I wonder if Taurus is starting their process now. You're starting to go deep, starting to connect in with your belief systems here, your intuition, and you're starting to be pulled forward, right? Guided forward along your soul path here, your passions. Follow your heart. Okay. In terms of the migraines, the headaches, sort of the stress maybe displaying in like head, neck, shoulders. Like she's kind of slumped here. I feel for some of you it's emotionally triggered stress, just the weight of the blue sort of a cloak that she has on. It makes like I feel like I'm wearing one of my weighted blankets that I have. That's how heavy this feels, the pressure on her shoulders. And again, she's looking back, going deep. So in June, your stress may have been emotional stress, and you probably spent a lot of time either alone or in contemplation about it. So sort of holding the stress on yourself. But your angels were reflecting with you, so that's why they definitely didn't stop the process. They didn't alleviate the stress, right? It was something you needed to go through. I feel like June, for those of you that had migraines, headaches, a little bit's going to be brought forward here into July. See how she's carrying it forward? I do feel like for the migraine sufferers, it is the cosmos. I know here where I'm living, the weather has been extremely unpredictable. There's no point in looking at the hourly kind of weather breakdown or even looking at the 7-day forecast at this point, because it's completely kind of changing on a dime, and therefore it's causing like air pressure and whatnot. And I know that that's sort of an environmental factor for migraines, so sort of the real world explanation, as I like to distinguish it from sort of the spiritual. So you might be living in an area where you're experiencing sort of the weather elements affecting. So there's a little bit happening here in July that you're going to have to deal with, unfortunately. Okay. Jumping ahead to July now. So let's look ahead to July. I'm going to start over there. I'm not sure why my hand kind of shot across. So let's go over here. Let's see why they want to start July off. So in June, I said somebody came out of the, like this was a deep reach. That's really how I feel. Like, depending on your age, this is like childhood, high school, college, university kind of thing, right? Like a deep reach. One of your first relationships, love relationships, and all of a sudden they're showing up again. And the reason why I went back to June, sort of that start of this transformation, the reason for this visitor Because they're bringing me back there with this whimsy, this childlike whimsy, and you having the courage to look at it, right? The fish is looking at it. There's something here that the angels want Taurus kind of look back, like that far back. You're going back to childhood here. So childhood, teenage years. Have the courage to look back at those years this month. Why? Well, we have spiritual growth. We saw that here. I said transformation, right? Tapping back into your belief system, finding your sense of purpose, right? Her third eye, her heart, her intuition. She's igniting all of this. Now they're drawing me to the bat, which we have here. And the bat in charm form is changing perspective, kind of honing in on your soul purpose, right? Kind of going into the nature of the bat and its sonar, right? The blindness here. Just follow your heart, like your for a group that's dealing with stress, sort of headaches, migraines. Obviously, you're covering your eyes, darkness, because that helps here with the migraines in July. For those of you that are experiencing it, but I also feel like the angels are purposefully blinding you from looking at something. So they want you to come back to your childhood. I don't know if you're about to make a mistake, a repeat bad choice. If this was an ex from the past that suddenly came up and you guys had a deep conversation of what the heck went down. And then over here, you're looking at a person that's just like your ex, but you're not going to approach the relationship any different. Even though they came out and taught you a lesson, you're still going to go into the relationship doing the same thing. So there's a pause here and look back. Your angels want to stop you from looking at something that is drawing you for temptation. They're stopping you from following this temptation, right? The sonar. They want you to follow your soul path energy, right? Follow your intuition, what you know is right. Follow your inner compass. And not this bad choice. I did say that, didn't I, when I picked up the cards? This stopping of a bad choice, or a repeating bad choice, maybe. That's usually why the angels will come in and interfere with free will, as if we've made that choice again and again and again. We're repeating that action. And for whatever reason here in July, they definitely are trying to stop you, right? The fire, the swords, like the blindfold. They're throwing everything that they can in your way to stop you from heading down this temptation. You know it. They warned you in June. They had this person show up and talk with you. They had you just sit and reflect and sit in your emotions. They limited your abilities by giving you stress and headaches and migraines that kind of stop you from being able to do anything, right? The blindfold, stopping you. They do not want you moving forward with this temptation. I'm going to go straight down with this bat connection here. And also because I see a connection here. So I don't know if this is a lust temptation. It could be a temptation to go back to an ex. If this is the person that showed up. They just showed up and you happened to cross paths, so you had a conversation. They're not interested, right? They're looking over their shoulder back at you, heading on. They're following their source of light. And for some reason, you're kind of tempted here. Temptation. But it will take you in the wrong direction. It'll leave you with no sense of direction, I think. I think you'll just kind of flounder, right? You'll just kind of blindly follow here. You're going to make no progress. And you might be left lost. They might take you to halfway down the tunnel and then just take off with the light. And you're like, what the heck? You just left me hanging here as I pick up the bat, right? They just kind of hang. So if you change your perspective, as we were seeing up here, that's what this charm is. I was saying the bat's about changing perspective. If you change your perspective, you head towards peace, happiness and peace. But if you kind of hang in there and keep going down this route towards this connection, not the greatest connection, you know. It could be you know that saying, I always date the same type. I always attract the same kind of people. Well, if you change your perspective, if you focus in on your intuition, your soul work, etc., if you're willing to look back at your past and make some change, make some transformation, then you're going to find peace, you know, a better person, a better connection, a happier environment, whatever that story is leading you to. Oh, ask and receive, see? Again, she's centering herself here, emotional. So again, there's this acknowledgement of your emotions, of what you want, what you need in a connection. You know, maybe you're just focused in on that lust. Maybe that's why they're covering your eyes. What's those shows where you date blind, right? You find a deeper connection. You go beyond the looks, beyond the sort of the superficial, and you go deep, right? So if you really want a deep, loving connection, you need to close your eyes, right? Close your eyes. Maybe Taurus, you're being a bit superficial here with your connections. Maybe that's why I was seeing this more as a lust, or like I said, you're repeating the same type of person, right? Maybe they have maybe it's a type of job they do. I'm a musician, so you keep falling for the drummer, wherever it is, right? So it's time to change that up. Yeah, if you want to transform, right? If you want to spring anew, right? Head down into this fully healed, more abundant, prosperous kind of forest out here. You need to leave behind sort of what you've known, what you've done, sort of this repetition that I see here, right? All these times before. Look at all these times before that you just kind of laid to rest here. All right. So if you want peace, try something different. Try different people, different groups of people. Try something else. Avoid the temptation here. You know, looks and walks pretty, but you know, maybe a relationship's not so great. Let's come to this collection here of charms next. In the intro, I was drawn to the healing message here, you know, transformation after healing. So your transformation only comes after you've healed. And the angels are giving you like a comfort bear. So we're back to this childhood. So you need to, maybe there's a relationship in your childhood that was traumatic, you know, maybe you lost someone young. I know a couple, well, actually, I know 3 Taurus who all lost a parent young. 2 of them lost fathers in childhood, 1 lost a mother in childhood. So maybe that's your story as well. You still haven't healed from how that relationship was sort of taken from you, never really realized, right? A healthy, positive relationship was removed. So you need to kind of transform yourself from staying true to the way you've been and kind of come back to that childhood moment. Like, who were you as a child? You know, change your trajectory, change your path. You are worthy of good people. You don't have to settle for other people, or the same type that keeps hurting you, right? Whoever that type is. You're just not a match. So, you know, maybe try blind dating. You know, allow your friends to set you up on some blind dates. You know, apply to those shows. Okay. So there is a family member here from heaven. I think I mentioned it up here. Maybe in childhood you lost a parent, but there is family member with the angel here, angel wing from heaven. And with the sword here, again, I feel like that trauma kind of changed your trajectory. And the family member here is acknowledging that. And look what the Vespa is doing. You know, it's driving backwards. We've already been to that card. And again, we're going backwards. We're going back into childhood. I don't know if maybe you never went to therapy, or maybe you just started therapy. Maybe this was that unexpected, unplanned visitor. You know, maybe you just, for whatever reason, found yourself reaching out and you grabbed a free counseling session and you started some therapy here. You went deep, right? You talked. Maybe you're considering hypnotherapy as they're pulling me into this, or past life regression, right? Heading into the Akashic records here, or even just hypnotherapy and past life, or not past life, but regression therapy. There we go. So that you can go into your memories here. If you're someone that struggles with kind of facing memories head on here, because the Vespa has, you know, it's full of gas, but it's heading backwards. It's going back from where I came. So once again, it's driving you backwards. You know, you're hitching a ride here with your angel from heaven, your family member here, your ancestor wants to take you back to heal, for transformation. Take a step back. You know, the angels can't be more blunt with you, Taurus, like more obvious, I guess, in their card selections. You know, there's healing here. The purple kind of cloak wrapped around, again, that heavy blanket, right? The crone here. You know, the little child that after a bath, right? You're wrapped in your blanket and you're ready for the bedtime story kind of feeling here. So again, you know, the willingness to go back and do the work, right? He's manifesting. He's doing the work. He's healing his core here. He's healing his soul. I'm not sure why you're afraid to look back, right? You're not even grabbing the drinks here. There's nothing absolutely scary at all about your past here, but you don't want to go back there. You know, you'd rather set fires. You know, I'm drawn to the very olden days kind of prison stripe outfit. So you're keeping yourself a prisoner, right? You're an emotional prisoner, as they draw me to the blue on the neck, the throat chakra. So not dealing, not talking about it, just kind of shoving it down. But there's peace here to be made. There's wonderful people here, wonderful connections waiting for you if you're willing to put in some work here. And then they're drawing me up here to the bird shooting the arrow. And that makes me feel Cupid. Remember, we saw that in the first card here. Sorry, not the first card, but this grouping of cards here with the dove. Remember, we were saying if you change your perspective, you know, find that different type of person. So stop chasing the same thing, or different type of job. You know, go back to your childhood and find your passion, your true passion, and follow that. So if you start putting yourself first and making the decisions that make you happy, look at this fresh connection coming in. So any of you that aren't in your soulmate or a happy relationship, you know, Cupid's got its arrow here. It's ready to hit you. But you got to be willing to talk to these people that are different, right? The two-headed woman, she's a little different. She has two heads. So you need to look elsewhere. Try something different. Oops. Okay. And that will help you heal and transform. So, you know, July, just explore, you know, force yourself to talk to somebody else for a change. Go to a different department at work, you know. randomly reach out to someone that you see every day in the elevator and say, hey, I say good morning to you every day. You want to grab coffee and say more than just hi? Like, do you want to get to know each other? Whatever it might be. So we have home environment, kind of a standstill here in your home environment related to fixing something. I don't know if you're just gathering the funds here, kind of saving up in order to deal with it, because there's cheerleading here. So in July, kind of moving from this standstill position in your home base to having it fixed. So this could be also moving for any of you that are moving in July. So this is a positive transition as well, because you've saved up and you found your new place, so you're moving in. Or you could be the opposite. You could be on the other side of that deal. You could be the person that's sold, right? You had your house for sale, people came, you got your deal, right? So it's that kind of story here, some kind of change in your home environment, one of your home environments. So wherever you spend the bulk of your time, the two places where you spend your time, either home base, work, travel even. But there's something that just wasn't moving forward, and then it gets fixed. So again, that could be a promotion, a raise, something you've been waiting on for a good term, a good period with the sunflower here. It takes a while for it to get tall, and then it waits, just kind of sucks up the sun rays. But it's really to your home base here. So something is getting resolved at home. Something's getting fixed at home. And the angels are happy about it. And you're happy about it. Everybody's celebrating. Oh, look, joy and contentment here at home. There's a lot of tree imagery here for you as well. So that's family tree. Maybe it's your family home. Going back to a lot of reading about childhood here. So maybe you're a Taurus who's still connected to your family home. And maybe this could be something as simple as after a long period of time, you're able to go home and visit. But there's joy, contentment, happiness, peace here at home for you in July. Yeah, look at the fox sailing back, right? He's also sailing past the temptation, right? The snake is often used as a symbol of temptation. But if you sail past it, right, listen to your angels, listen to your intuition. This is your soul, the soul eye, right? Raining down on you here. So if you listen to your angels, your intuition, your soul, and you sail on past this temptation that's sitting in front of you, don't give in. You're heading towards joy and contentment. You're heading towards peace and happiness, transformation that's going to possibly bring in a new connection, a new love, positive change in the environment. So pretty strong here, Taurus, in terms of this temptation, this decision that you give into. And if you're willing to not do that, you're going to see such a transformation at home. The energy is going to change for you. That relationships, or just your relationships, are going to change for you. But you got to be willing to put in the work. You got to be willing to jump in deep here. You've got the wisdom of the crone. You have your soul. You have your guardian angel that's beckoning you to follow them to your belief system, follow them into the Akashic records. Let's go deep. Let's look back at the childhood. Let's deal with this, because it's keeping you in the lifestyle that you're leading right now, whatever this unresolved item is from the past. I don't really see you talking specifically to anyone. Like you're not, it's not a call for you to go and confront someone to deal with this. It is all self work. In order for you to move forward, you have to make this decision, right? You have to have the bravery to make the decision to look at this, have the courage to go back, look at this relationship, also have the courage to walk away from temptation. You'll find greater peace. You're going to find transformation. So let's connect in August and see how you did, Taurus.